The issue with the Steam release of Valkryia Chronicles is that once you're tabbed into the game, you can't untab or the whole thing crashes. Hey, Nerd Wonder, thank you. Let's see if it works. It should. I hope it works. If my alert box is not working for subs, I'm gonna be upset. But this cat is also just standing on my lap now. It's on low latency, so it should have shown up, but maybe not. Yeah, this... Hey, there it worked. Okay, let's go. This is more like split into two countries. There's no real issues with this opening. Yeah, but see, they also just missed out a really cool metaphor. It's like they were engulfed in the flames of war, and then that flips to a flame thing, so they just kind of left that out for no reason. The opening prologue is not completely wrong, but it's also just a tone thing, right? And don't get me wrong, I love this game, but the thing to note about the prologue and the opening is it's just setting the tone, right? So when you listen to that and you read the words compared to the tone of the voice of the Japanese, narrator, you can tell it's a little more serious than how they're reading it. And that continues throughout the rest of the game. So I played this game back, I don't know, when it came out, before I knew Japanese. Oh man, Skies of Arcadia is just a whole different... I could rant about that for an hour. See, that said leaving the town, but it said towns. Like, they're leaving all over the border, not just this place. Like, it's a long line. Also, he didn't say a long time, he said it's been 3 years. I don't know why they left out that detail. Again, already is wrong. Hey there, guys, no. He doesn't... Yeah, he's not saying any of that. He's just saying, they're already heading up the river. He's not, like, talking to the fish. That was more like quite a time for doing something like that, not, you know, there's a war going on. Again, there's no Mr. Artist here. Like, all of these little quips, they're just not in the translation. And they're not... The other thing is, you might say, oh, well, they localized it to make it sound more natural. But the more natural language there would not have been, you know, Mr. Artist or hey there, fish, how's the water? It would just be a flat affect. Like, they're not this bubbly. So, notice that this opening scene involves, like, innocent people being shot to death, like, right at the opening. And how the tone here is not, like, happy. And you notice how he said, I mean, I made it through training, but in the Japanese, it was very straight. Like, yes, I made it through training, like, confident. He's not doubting himself. So I don't know why they're adding that kind of, like, Yeah, he's way more confident in the Japanese. Like, he's not, well, I guess. Yeah, moves give me strength, like that kind of shit. So the really unfortunate thing is that none of this text that is not voiced, I don't have access to the Japanese actual text. If somebody could get a Japanese script of the game, that would be awesome because there is an English script and then we could go line by line. But the Japanese version never got a PC port, which is messed up, and I don't have a PS4 to run it. Or a capture card. A very funny thing about the PC port is that you have to play it at a lower frame rate. They're like, oh, we'll do 60 FPS, and you can play that way. But if you crank the FPS up to 60, the internal game time gets all messed up, and Crossfire just like kills you instantly. Yeah, I mean, for the first one, you just bum rush it. This game has so much cheese in terms of like how you can beat it. I don't think this opening mission even has an elite. I never bothered with it anyway. There's no, as far as I'm aware, Japanese doesn't really have military like, you know, sit rep and that kind of thing. Because Japanese is so much like denser in terms of kanji, they kind of just use the regular names. Wow, we did it. Guys, we did it. War is over, we won. Yeah, the harder challenges in 4 were rough. Surprisingly, the translation of 4 isn't that bad for the main story, but the side story is very not good. This is, yeah, they're leaving out like... They left out some stuff there, like, it was more like darkness and light, hate and, like, love. It was a little more, it's really, really hard to give a good, like, translation of poetic lines on the fly, but they're kind of just, like, simplifying. It's like a simplified read. Yeah, the dub script is literally the subtitles, so that's the issue. Why does everyone have monster man hands? Probably so that you can see the models on the guns correctly. Now we're getting into the real messed up lines quickly here. Oh, it's the same for other games. Like Breath of the Wild's even worse, man. How long have I been in Japan? I think it's been about 8 years now. Wait, wait, this is just completely wrong. She said, was it nichijou hin igai no mono wa sunde imasu, which is like, I've already packed everything except for the everyday stuff. Again, it's these little things here that it's such a subtle difference, right? So he does say like we need to leave before sunset, but it's not let's hit the road. It's their empire is closing in, we should leave before sundown. Like, hit the road feels out of place here. Also, this whole thing could be a complete discussion, like the fact that she says Nissan instead of and in the English they do Welks because it's like a pet name kind of thing. I can go either direction on it. Like, no, it's that it builds up this tone because you're building the tone consistently through the game, right? So this whole thing is like, well, should she say Nissan? That's not really a thing that we say in English. What's a good replacement for that? But do you think Welks is an appropriate like abbreviation or shortening of Welkin? I really don't think so. It sounds jarring, right? So what would she say here? It's something that should have been a discussion, not. And I don't agree with this change. Big Brother is, again, do we really say that in English? I'm not sure, but Again, Welkies, I don't think that's... This is more just like welcome back, Welkin, or... honestly, like if we're gonna go down this road of what sounds more realistic, then it would be tone of voice that this is displayed in, right? So in English, rather than changing the word itself, we show this with tone of voice. So rather than changing the word choice, you might just leave it as welcome back, Welkin, but the way that she says it in English would be more affectionate. Because in Japanese, the level of social familiarity is shown through word choice, but in English, it's definitely more through tone of voice. Big brother, I mean, it's not... Yeah, that's a good point. It could be, big brother. And then she says botchan, which is like, boy, or like little man, something like that. Or isn't it, if it isn't little Welkin? I would say like little Welkin would be better than Welkies. Something like that. This is fine. Yeah, again, little Spud is not in the line at all. I don't know where that comes from. Like, she's just said, "Oh, it's fine. I've already had 4 of them. I'm used to it." What brings you here is a little off. It should be more like, "What's wrong?" or "Is something wrong?" Again, do you see like this and the ... dots and how that doesn't line up with the actual spoken dialogue? She's literally just saying, "I wanted to apologize before, so here, this is for you." Like, there's no reason for this pause. And this is interesting because think about the context of like a bunch of bread during wartime, especially in 1940s. He didn't say, "Really, these are for me." He's more like, "Is it okay for me to take these?" Look, okay, here is a perfectly emblematic thing, right? She doesn't say arrested and shot at. Ha, you've had a busy day of it. Like, are you fucking kidding me? She says, "Wow, I can't believe that happened. You've really been through it today." Like, she's putting on a strong face, but she's pregnant. Yeah. But she's putting on a strong face. She's not making a joke. Like, I feel like they completely missed the subtext here, which is this is a heavily pregnant woman in a border town who is probably or maybe not able to leave. This is what I'm talking about. This is why I picked it for the thumbnail for the first stream. Like, did you hear how there's absolutely nothing in that line? I mean, she just said, "そうなんですよ. 知り合ったばかりなんだから." Like, there is no line here that is, "I'm not his girlfriend, just his hero." Completely ridiculous. It's not even close. It's just, no, it's not like that. We just met after all. Yeah, and she doesn't say that's a lovely portrait. I don't know why they changed that. She said that picture on the wall there, is that General Gunther? Yeah, so he just says, "Yeah, it was taken before I was born." He doesn't say that's dad. Like, maybe you don't have to spell this out. And also, think about this. Think about the implied subtext here, where he's not saying that's my dad. Maybe there could be something about he feels like he's having a hard time living up to his father or something. Maybe that would be a plot point later. Or he didn't want to go into the military. You wonder, a guy who has a famous general as a father, maybe there's a little bit of subtext there. Also, listen to the tone of voice. 立派なお父さんですね. Not, "That's dad. You're a lucky guy." 立派な is like, amazing or like famous. she's talking about he's very well known. Like, that's an important thing. Like, the fact that she says Rippana means, like, she knows who that guy is. Yeah, Frodo is right next to the mic, and he's purring up a storm. I'm putting him on the ground now. Again, like... this, but she's definitely my little sister, isn't there? He just said, 血がつながらない兄弟だよ, which is like, we're not related by blood. Or, you know, that's it. He's, that little extra line, not needed. Again, you see, there's none of this, like, ... kind of stuff. Like, he's extremely confident already. The dialogue is mostly right there, but the tone is off. Yeah, it's... I really don't know how they got the idea that the tone should be like that. Especially for Welkin. This is more just bring them all together, we'll drive them out, or we'll stop them. Actually, it's not fend them off, it's kuitomeru, which is kind of like stop them here. It's kind of fatalistic. It's like a lack of respect for the ability of Japanese writers to write. They think that, oh, we've got to punch up the dialogue, right? That's the issue. I forget if you can lose this map. Oh, wait, he's right. Is he standing? No, he's crouching. Do I have grenades here or no? I think I can. If I have grenades, it should be fine. If not, I think I lose. Oh, I don't have grenades. I don't know, but I can just double up. It'll be fine. Are the stories connected for Valkyria Chronicles? Yes, they should be. GG. But, like, look at how cool these cutscenes are. Again, he didn't say sounds like a tank. He said, it can't be. Or, you're kidding me. Why ruin the moment of suspense there? There's like a little moment of suspense you could have. Why would you replace that with sounds like a tank? Like, what's the point? That was more like, we've got to get out of here. Even though it's like, it's half a second of spoilers, but still, like, that was intentional. If the Japanese writers wanted to say it's a tank, they would have written it's a tank. Yeah, I mean, Visa and Mika appear as playable characters, but the Skies of Arcadia translation is even worse than this one. They just kind of threw out everything. It was more accurate. No, I think it just makes extra work. Like, what's the point of using 2 different subs? Like, just translate it properly the first time. Yeah, so this is more like, again, rolling in the tanks. That's not the kind of turn of phrase you'd expect here. Why are we going with, if they're rolling in the tanks? It's more like, they've brought in tanks. The town watch can't handle this. Yeah, kuyashi. And it's interesting to note, it's like Nisho Bururu Tettai Sen. Like, Tettai is retreat. Again, not escape, but retreat. They're using military like lingo here. Like, Tettai Sen is like, you know, retreat strategy or retreat mission. Yeah, not pregnant or just fat. It doesn't fucking say that. Like, what's her problem? What is the old bitch pregnant? Is basically what he said.
こいつダルクスの布を巻いてやがる。なんだお前。ダルクス人だったのか。道理で油くせえ家だと思ったぜ。ババアに。
Abrakse is not stinky. It's more like they're talking about kind of like their traditional food is like oily. It's leave now. And that wasn't die, he said like, you bastard, or fuck you. And he said, you fucking bitch, not like, Darkson pig. Yeah, hag, bitch, something like that. Again, not out there dodging bullets, like she could still be in danger, like in the middle of battle. But listen to the music and compare that to the tone, it kills me. It's so much more serious. I hate that they do stuff like, oh, they're out there dodging bullets. Yeah, Edelweiss is a German flower. No, like, okay, so I can go full nitpicky or I can go, you know, gloss. But I do think it's important because the nitpicks matter, right? Because they set the tone for everything. And it's not just like, oh, well, was this line right? Was that line wrong? That kind of thing. You know, it's the tone of the game is inevitably changed by how each line is delivered in sequence. So the sequencing matters. Yeah, it snowballs. It definitely snowballs. That's the issue. The biggest thing is I will have to see if we can find a Japanese script, because if we do, then I can compare it directly to the English script, which would be nice. Yeah, she gets a grenade back. Can you make this throw, I wonder? Oh, you totally can. Hold on. That's actually great. Come on. Come on. Yeah! Based. I love stuff like that. Sneaky, 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 sneaky. Okay. Yo, what up? Oh, dude, you better make this shot. Hero. What a Chad. This is fine. It's mostly fine. I forgot that they wanted you to roll up the tank to this like big group of 4 people and like, oh, it's the tank, wah! But I've already killed them all, so whoops. Let's see if I can make this in the first shot. Yeah, you're supposed to use the mortar on that group of 4. Wait, to kill 2 on the radiator? Since when? I thought it was always 1. Yeah, you're not actually supposed to run up and kill those guys. Hilariously enough. I forgot about this line. I forgot. I actually forgot they did this. Like, no, you're my hero. This isn't here. It's not in the game. It's just not, it doesn't exist. She just said, You did it. You're amazing, Welkin. Like, fuck off, please. Yeah, they just felt, they're like, ooh, this is a setup and a payoff. Like, look at us, we're doing a writing. I did a writing. We're writers, right? No, you're not a writer. There is a dub, yeah. But I would rather die than play the dub. The dub is just awful. Again, I swear to God, who talks like this? Have any of you ever in your life said, these are my new digs? Are they human? Who wrote this? He's not talking like this. He just said, 今日からこれが僕の部屋だ. Like, he's just, oh, so this is where I'll be living from now on, or this is my room now, or whatever. It's not new digs. Shut up. Fuck off. Oh, and he doesn't say my uniform. Again, he says this is like the military dress or military uniform. No one says digs. I hate it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Again, this line is not here. Like, everything you need for a nice hike or combat. No, he just says everything you need for military operations. Like, why? What is the point? Like, that's the thing that I would most want to ask these people. What was the point of this? Do you really think, like, the game wasn't good enough? The dialogue they wrote wasn't good enough? Yeah, she doesn't say was worried it looked silly. She says, I was worried if I could wear it or if it would look alright on me. Again, he doesn't say Beetle-tastic. What is the point? It's already a weird turn of phrase for him to say this. Like, he is saying, yeah, like the plating on the back looks like an exoskeleton. It's really cool. He just says it's really cool. Why did you need to put in Beetle-tastic? Again, Welkin's based. It's like, no, dude, it's not any bug. It's a rhinoceros beetle. It's like they call them like the helmet, Kabutamushi. It's like the king of beetles. You're telling me like that's not cool? Wait, you're saying that's not cool? Women do love it when you talk about their exoskeletons, bros. You've been doing it wrong this whole time. She doesn't necessarily say it's a uniform, but... Shut the fuck up! Why? There's no pun here. She's being serious. This is a serious moment where she's saying, I might be in the military now, but I don't want to forget the time I spent working in the bakery. It's almost like she doesn't particularly want to be in the military, and she's talking about what she did enjoy. What is the point of this? Again, she says, Mata hatarakeru made, which is until I can start working again, not manning the ovens, but she's explicitly drawing a line between being forced into the military to do something she doesn't want to do, i.e. be in the military, and go back to her profession, which is being a baker. Again, he doesn't say first in line. He says, oh, I see. Well, I'll be sure to come buy some when you finally get back. That's fine. Again, he makes the promise explicit here. He says, I promise. That's important. Like, it's important that he says it's a promise, not just absolutely. Yeah, if they're caught alone, there's no saving them. I do remember the characters from VC4 a lot more than the VC1. But look, I gotta get my bros in here. I hope there's some random ability. Oh, we got Aika. Let's go. Dude, we high rolled. Aika's like the best scout. Yes! We're high rolling. There's some amount of RNG to the troops that you get at the beginning. Carl! Dude, we're getting all my favorites. Dude, I love Carl. What? We're high rolling, bros. Marina is the best sniper. Like, absolutely best. I do not like Edie. I do not like Edie. Oh, we got Vice too? What? We got Vice? Again, he didn't say that. And Wendy. Yeah, she does not say hee hee kaboom. That's basically fine. This is actually interesting because they're making a little bit of effort here to hide the out of, you know, the fourth wall breaking context. So she's not saying like you can swap them out without losing the benefit of their experience. It's more like everyone is, you know, constantly going through training, so there should be no large variations between their fighting ability, which is interesting because she says there's no large variations when in reality there's none because it's a game, but there's a little bit of like, you know, they're trying to hide it a little. That's basically fine. It keeps the illusion up a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of like the point. If you ever play this game, all you need to know is... Yeah, he doesn't say welcome to your worst nightmare, lazy blobs into shape. He's just like... it's more of a... I mean, he is doing the drill sergeant kind of meme, but it's not like that lame. It's like, I'm here to whip you losers. I mean, it's kind of like you louts, like... You could swear here. Like he says Kisama, which is like... you could have worded this better. Yeah, that's not imp tail. No. He's saying, show me the experience you've gained on the battlefield. Yeah, he doesn't say there's no need for stars. He's saying there's no individuality here. Don't forget you're in the military. They just made a mistake here. Wait, this is actually just a mistake. He says, 偵察兵レベル2、突撃兵レベル3. That's just, they put Scout twice, but it should be Shock Trooper 3, Scout 2. That's just a straight up error. Unless I misheard, but I don't think I did. And you know what we do? We level up the scouts. Always the scouts. Yeah, again, I don't know why they do this because he's already very clearly talking in a, like, you know, drill sergeant kind of voice. He's not saying you're one close level closer to human. He's saying, like, well done, you've leveled up. That's it. You don't need to add this. Again, he doesn't say beat a new potential. It looks like they've awakened a new potential. Like, these things matter. These little bits matter. Especially because, like, if you think I'm being, you know, nitpicky here, imagine... Oh, shit. Imagine if... You have to... Okay, hold on. Give me a second here. You have to take into consideration the fact that the Japanese writers wrote it that way on purpose. So he's gruff in one section and then nice in the other section. So if you have him gruff on both sections, it loses the point. This is fine. I like Leon, but they have a really hard time translating his speaking style. He's a sis kind of guy. I don't know how to describe it. You know, Uzaki, like, that's how she talks. Yeah, that's fine.
戦車の開発は戦車の車両自体を改造して強化することもできるし、オプションパーツというものを開発して戦車に装備することも可能っす。そうそう。車両整備を行うことでオプションパーツの Most of these like translations in the very like this is the game part are fine. Most of them. It really does feel like they just want to be seen and have their quote-unquote contributions like front and center. Like I've said it before, but I'm really not for the idea of giving individual credit to like localization or translators. Even if I was a translator, like, you shouldn't... Oh, spare bell's garbage. You shouldn't be out there trying to have your name seen because you're not the creator, right? Oh, that's interesting, Caddis. I didn't know that. I'm sure that's one of the things, like, you guys will be pissed, but Skies of Arcadia removed tons of references like that. It's not, it's definitely not an accident. Oh, it's not that they translated the names in Skies of Arcadia. They just straight up changed them. Like, I think there's one that's like Portis or like Soltis or something, but it's actually just Atlantia in the original. And she doesn't say, I think you might have some use for it. She says, I just brought it from the barn. What the fuck? What? What? What do you mean another hand-me-down? He doesn't say that. He says, Dad's flare gun. Huh. No, it's an older model, but it should still work. Like, yeah, this I didn't mean. He just says, and he doesn't say I can't believe. He just says, it looks like I've ended up operating a tank just like Dad. Or like I'm a tank operator just like my dad, like my father. Like, these plot points come into play later, and it's almost like they're laying the groundwork for this concept of him. Like, there's very clearly something going on with Welkin and his father. Like, is he concerned about his father's legacy? He didn't actually want to go into the military. He wanted to go to university to study natural, like, biology and stuff. So they're just spelling it out for you, instead of letting the game do the work like the writers intended. There's, like, all subtlety is lost here.
ここまで驚異的な速さで進行してきた帝国軍だけに、未だ防衛部隊の兵力は十分ではない。
It's fine.
我が第三中隊は敵防衛部隊の増援が到着する前にバーゼル峡を奪還する。
義勇軍ごときでも作戦会議をするのか。
This is fine. He says Gotokine, which is basically like, oh, you're having a little strategy meeting of your own. This dude's a dickhead.
まあ、所詮は寄せ集めの民兵どもだ。
寄せ集めの民兵ども。I mean, I get what they're saying, 民兵ども. It's, yeah, they're just country bumpkins, basically. I wouldn't say mice.
大して戦果は期待できぬがな。
橋を防衛していた正規軍があっさり敗れたことも私には戦果として期待外れでしたわ。
Yeah, this is different too. Not more help perhaps than your army unit that couldn't hold the bridge in the first place. He's like, I can't expect much from you like local militia types, and she says it seems like we couldn't expect much from the army unit who lost the bridge in the first place. He's throwing his words back at him, which they kind of dropped here.
いずれにせよバーゼル峡は重要な戦略地点。速やかに奪還いたします。
せいぜい頑張ることだな。
Dude's such a dickhead.
今の人はダモン将軍だ。中部方面軍の総司令官さ。
Yeah, combined central forces.
中部方面軍。僕たち義勇軍もそこに編成されていたね。ダモン将軍は貴族出身で階級意識の強い人らしく、民兵の集まる義勇軍を目の敵にしている。
This is basically fine.
そうだった。
Yeah, so what happened when I... Wait, what? Wait, this actually took me by surprise. I forgot about this line. He just says, そうだったのか. He doesn't say that doesn't make any sense. What are you talking about? He just said, so, I see, that's how it is. What? What? So, this game is one that I started playing right when I was learning Japanese at first, and so... Yeah. So I started noticing all the differences, but I didn't know if it was just me being shit at Japanese or not. Does it have any script? There is a script, but there's an English script that I found, but I could never find the Japanese script. If somebody finds the Japanese script, that would be awesome. I'll add it to like the side and we can just scroll through it. Yeah, he doesn't say be ready for anything including tanks. He says there may be enemy tanks, so be prepared. Again, doesn't say how long do you think I've been an anti-tank man. He says I'm an anti-tank soldier. I'm not gonna sweat over a couple of tanks. He doesn't say his name. That's actually a really important point, that he hasn't really fully introduced like the main characters, like the main side characters. So I don't know why he's saying Largo here when it's kind of a key point that they have not mentioned him by name yet. Yeah, that's fine. It's not, I don't care if he's the son of some famous general. He's still just a school kid, or he's just some university student. You got that right. Wow, yeah, this is not right at all. Number one doesn't say new Grand Duke and oh, I hate kids, which is not anything that Largo would say, like at all. He says just letting one win get to his head like this, it's gonna be a problem. Again, what are we doing? This is more like, it doesn't matter. I'll teach him. Or, yeah, he says we'll teach him, like, soon enough. Yeah, experience is only something you can get on the field. I don't know why they do this. Like, they turn people's personality up like 5 clicks to the point where it's not a real thing anymore. Also, you want to see what's really sad? This is what's really sad. All of this information here, we have no idea, or I have no idea, any of this, like, if this text is correct. It could be complete bullshit. I have no idea. That's why I really want the Japanese script. Like the personnel tab in particular, I really want to know. All of this stuff. We have no idea if it's right. I looked around for the Japanese script. Yeah, I mean, if they're calling it sniping rifles instead of sniper rifles, or even marksman rifle, like, that's an interesting question, actually, Tuner Guy. I wonder if it would be possible to pull it from the Japanese, but depending on how the game is actually structured, it might not be. Somebody has this full script for English, but it just doesn't exist for the Japanese from what I can find. I searched around, but anything other than sniping rifle, yeah, it's kind of pathetic. I really hate it. Yeah, if you can find it. The script for 4 is interesting because when I played through 4, like, I would also like to see the actual version of this, because I don't think it's called writing on the wall. I would doubt that it is. The writing for 4 is pretty good. Like, the translation, it's okay for the main story, but the side stories are all messed up. She doesn't say they're all lapdogs. She just says that the government censors it. Again, not candy sweet propaganda. Also, you'd think that the localizers doing this would kind of notice what they're doing. Maybe right here you could have looked at yourself in the mirror. No, if I said it that way, I said it backwards. Sorry, I have a tendency to sometimes reverse the order on things. The main story is fine. The side stories are messed up. Main story fine, side stories messed up. That's the correct one. If I said it the other way, I was wrong. I flipped them in my brain. Like, I wish I could read the original of this, because there's no point. We have no idea if this is real or not. We'll do, I guess we could do Valkyria Chronicles 4 next. Yeah, there are JP playthroughs on YouTube, so you can, but the issue is how easily you can incorporate that into a stream. So I don't want to play somebody else's YouTube video while we're playing the game, and pulling the text is the real thing, because, like, I'm not a native speaker, so there's going to be some kanji and some things that I would really like to be able to look up, especially because a lot of the war lingo is going to be a little beyond me. So being able to pull that up or use a screen reader would be very nice. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think, is this the first... side story? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of stuff wrong in this one. If I'm remembering right. I'm trying to remember which parts of the game pissed me off the most. No, didn't mention first impressions, just thinking it over. Doesn't even mention. Wait, yeah, this didn't even mention that. I love the childhood friend meme, but she doesn't say that at all. Just as it could be interesting. Did not mention childhood sweethearts or anything like that. Like, just spelling it out. She's wondering if they're actually not blood related, maybe. And then the pencil lands right in her eye. She really just said, like, didn't say the truth's going to uncover itself. She just said, you can't get a scoop without working for it, basically. Yeah, they're really jumping the gun on the whole, like, love story angle, because they're not childhood friends. And she doesn't mention that. This is where they punch her in the face for being a journo. Yeah, what? What? Again, she doesn't mention rich kids. Like, I'm noticing a little bit of maybe there's a little bit of bias there. And not big guy. Says, oh, what's the problem, Largo? I'm sure they could learn a lot by interviewing us. Wow. What? He says I'm way different than that, you know, inexperienced leader we have. This line is just whole cloth. I don't know why they do this. Sometimes they jump the gun, sometimes they just change it. He doesn't say I've been a soldier ever since. There's nothing the trash you want to talk about, as if, okay, you guys have played the game, right? So you know a little bit about Largo and Eleanor, like the history. He would never say this is the trash you want to write about. He's saying that's none of your business. I've got nothing to talk about. Like, there's nothing about that I'm going to talk to you about. A less awkward way to say it, but he would never say, is this the trash you want to talk about? Never. This is mostly fine. She doesn't say not trusting my back. It's more like I won't fight with some. Again, this is dark hair is not. I don't know why they put that in, but she's calling them like the dark skins, like dark. I don't know how you pronounce it, right? Dark, however they say it. But she doesn't say dark hair. She's calling them specifically by their race. Leave you bitter is a bit of an overstatement here.
取材ご苦労様。
取材ならこの前したばっかりじゃないですか。アリシアさん、今日はあなたも取材させてもらおうと思ってるの。
I wanted to do an interview with you as well today.
本当ですか？私が記事になっちゃうの？まあ、記事になるとは限らないけどね。それじゃあ早速質問だけど、ギュンター隊長とはブルールからずっと一緒なんだよね。隊長ってどんな人？なんだ、質問って私のことじゃないんだ。
Wow. They really fucked this up, huh? They really just decided like we're not gonna translate this correctly. Think about let's think about this for a second. What she says is, you're not doing this interview about me, or you didn't want to ask questions about me. And the difference between being disappointed that the interview isn't about yourself and being upset that the interview is about Welkin. Right? Like, there's a huge difference in connotation there. You want to interview me about him versus, you're not doing an interview about me? Like, there's a huge difference in connotation. They're reading in a whole bunch of subtext that is not there. So it's interesting. It's very hard. This is probably the hardest part for me to deal with because the military lingo here is quite strong, but you get the impression she's not speaking in a very precise militaristic kind of way when she should be. And I can't translate that on the fly, but that's definitely something that's missing here. It's not just the suppression, it's if you imagine like the way that they speak in Band of Brothers, it's closer to that. Yeah, I would have to spend a lot of time like working on rewriting this dialogue to be more militaristic. That's the issue. It's very hard to do that on the fly, but you just have to imagine that she's speaking far more precisely, not just like militia forces will take the point, crossing the bridge and attacking the eastern camp. It's like, I can't even come up with it on the fly, but it's precise and militaristic. Sounds like things are difficult in his platoon as well, or squad as well. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Now we get to do racism. I can't believe they included the hard R N-word in Valkryia Chronicles in the Japanese. But he didn't say it's her or me. What the hell? It's like, what do you think the problem is? It's this kid. Whoa! 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 Hold on. She didn't say anything about blow us up. Wow, they really let that drop. No one will listen to you. Not I won't, but no one will. What?
僕は48時間以内にバーゼル峡を奪還してみせる。もしも僕の作戦が失敗したら隊長を辞任しよう。その代わり作戦が成功したら以後は僕の指示を。
He never mentioned giving the squad to Largo. He just said he would resign.
お前今のセリフ二言はねえな。
Wow. There's a lot wrong with this one. Okay, let's go over this because there was a lot wrong with that. Number one, okay, I want to listen to it again just to double check because I don't think anyone said anything about explosions, which is kind of big because you don't, at this point in the game, you don't know what the Dark-Sijin calamity is, right? Let's listen to that again. I'm double checking because I don't think anybody said anything about explosions. And that's kind of massive. It's this kid. Yeah, no, nothing about an explosion. Nothing. Hold on, hold on. Yeah. Nothing about an explosion. And he doesn't say we're not, he says no one is going to. The implication there is that they're all going to get killed. And he says, I'll make a bet with you. He doesn't say which I doubt. He says, if my plan fails, I'll resign. And in exchange, if it succeeds, you'll all have to listen to me. He doesn't say your funeral. He says, you sure you're not going to regret that? Yeah, wow. The fact that they mention an explosion, that hasn't been brought up at all. You don't know what the calamity is. So you don't know at this point in the game that it has anything to do with explosions. So you don't find that out until way later, like what the calamity actually was. So the fact that they're kind of just dropping that right here makes no sense. That's just sloppy. That's just really sloppy. And he never says, I'll give you the squad. Like, he doesn't have the authority to do that. He just said, yeah, I'd resign. She doesn't say it's all my fault. It says, I'm sorry for kicking things up. He doesn't say it's nobody's fault. That's kind of a big deal. This contradicts his character. What? Like, we know that he thinks that prejudice against the Dark-Sijins is wrong. So he's not saying it's nobody's fault. He very clearly thinks it's Largo and Rosie's fault. He's saying everybody's on edge, so he understands why it's boiling up. Wow, there's no lines here. There's no lines here. Now they're talking. What is that? They just added a whole bunch of lines for no reason. No, he didn't say swim's just fine. He said we've made it to the shore. Operation start. Why do you have to do this to me? Why do they do this to me? The Edelweiss swims just fine. Let's go.